Alright, well this is the maiden of the new DGA after I fixed the front part. As you can see, it's black as opposed to the white foam board that I've been using. Just had some scraps and I didn't want to waste them, so I did this. I'm gonna give it a hand launch instead of a ground takeoff, just to see how it handles. Reminding you that the last time I had a problem, it was pitching up like crazy. I didn't change any thrust angles, although I do see that the motor is a bit pushed down, so I'm gonna straighten that out. And then I got some washers, and if I feel the need to, then I'll add some washers to get some different thrust angles. Let's see how it goes. I'm kind of afraid / skeptic that it will actually fly, but let's give it a shot. Let's try at least. I don't know if you guys are seeing, but this is like absolutely no throttle. Like really, absolutely very little throttle. It's flying. It's hard to control, I must give it to you. The glide slope seems to be fixed, not perfectly. The last time I probably had a little bit more nose weight, so what happened was it got out of the glide. It did that ditch quicker and then it glided faster. This is flying at very little throttle whatsoever. I think I'm gonna change the thrust angles very soon. Let's try to put full throttle. That's full throttle is just a vertical climb. Again, I'll try to get it on camera. I don't know if you guys saw it, so I'll go low and then full throttle. This is no elevator input, so it just loops with no elevator input. Really no elevator input whatsoever, unless I have a trim issue. That was zero elevator whatsoever. I'm gonna glide it down. I'm gonna try to fix the thrust angle issue. I think one of you guys said that if it was pulling towards the canopy, which is exactly what it's doing, then I need to add some down thrust angle. So that's what we're gonna go do right now. I'm pausing the video. I'm gonna shoot this again. Another check that I might do quickly before I do the thrust angle issue is remove the cowl and see if that does any change. So I'm gonna go get the plane, hope it's in one piece, and then we'll continue. Alright, so I removed the cowl. Some of you thought that the cowl might have created some sort of weird torque, or not torque, but kind of an air blockage that allowed the air to run out of somewhere and create extra lift. So removing the cowl, because it used to work without the cowl, and I don't know what has changed from my last builds. So I'm gonna try without the cowl, and then we'll try the cowl and thrust angle issues. Same issue, so it's probably a thrust angle. We'll try some thrust angle things to see if that helps. I don't recognize anything out of the ordinary on launch except for that high pitch, like that extra climb. So I'm gonna bring it around, land it somehow, and then try to bring back the cowl and change some thrust angle issues. So that crash has given me a broken wingtip. I'm gonna put a dab of hot glue, hold it in place, and then put some tape over it just to make sure. The wind is picking up, but I gotta do these tests because I want to update the plans and kind of finalize it. I got the thrust angle issue down. Coming to think about it, I should have thought about it myself, because some time ago, when I was building the Simple Soarer, Arcfire actually told me for the exact same back loop thingy to add some down thrust, and that actually solved the problem. I had to put a lot less down elevator input to actually get it to fly straight. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna solve the problem. The wind has picked up. I haven't put back the cowl yet, simply because I rather have the ability to change the thrust angle issues quicker. The cowl just complicates things a bit because you have to take out the entire cables of the ESC with the motor cables outside. Of course, take off the prop and then put back on the cowl and then lock it in place and push back the ESC back into place as well. So it's a little problematic if you want to take it out. It's not problematic, it's time consuming. So I'm saving time because I'm short on time. Let's try to fly without a cowl. Down thrust angle applied, one washer. I don't know if you guys are seeing, but one washer has been applied right there. So hopefully this flies better, and hopefully the wind dies out the second I throw it up. Alright, well, it's kind of hard for me to tell on launch, so I kind of had to take it aside for a moment. Let's just try to bring it down to altitude so that you guys can see. This is full thrust. Alright, well, that battery isn't dead just yet, but I do want to have this on video so I can analyze it at home in worst case worse. Let's just try to turn it around and apply full elevator, full thrust. So full thrust, it still ups, it doesn't loop, but it still has that up climb, so possibly more down thrust, which is gonna kind of be a knocker for me. Maybe this is a tail heavy plane, maybe I got the CG all messed up, but this is like gliding it down to 0 throttle. This is very little throttle. What I can say that it can on throttle, if you throttle up, you got an ass saver right there. So just throttle up with this plane and you'll be on the safe side. It's not flying like I wanted to. I think I might have an elevator trim issue. I'm gonna try to trim that out. I'm gonna bring it down and then try to trim it out, and then toss it again and see if that changes anything. The battery is not dead, but I'm gonna change out to a bigger battery with a little bit more amps. See if that changes anything. Let's try that. So we got a 3-cell 1300 milliamp. Let's try. All right, so we're gonna go again. I changed the battery and left the down thrust that I had. I'm gonna check a quick balance check. I'm gonna try at least because it's windy at the field. This might be a slighter, more nose down setup. Anyways, we're gonna try again. I gotta figure out this issue, or at least have enough footage to analyze stuff. Wow, like I just moved the throttle and it pulls out of my hand like crazy. So if I get this thrust angle issue to get it to fly straight, boy, this plane is gonna go fast. Just hope the wings don't rip off in midair. But look, this is very low throttle and it's pulling. You don't see any of that on video, but it's a horrible launch. It's a handful to manage. Still pitches up. Regardless that I have a motor issue because I hear it's not spinning properly, it's still pitching up. I don't know what I've changed, but this was really hard to fly. The motor is not really heating up, although I feel like there might be something that's causing it not to spin properly. I'm not gonna try to fix that now because that means I need to take out some knives and start doing stuff. The reason why it flew horribly was because the battery flew back. It wasn't held in place properly, so that changed the whole CG point and it made it like a very tail heavy plane. I'm still gonna push the battery just a tad back because I think that one of the things that might be causing my issues is actually that I don't have the actual CG points correctly. So I'm going to lock the battery in place this time so that it doesn't move. And then we're gonna give it a go again. The ESC is warm. That means that the air is not actually going into the fuselage like it used to, because the very first time I flew it, when it was flying like perfect, it just didn't have enough speed. And then I don't know what I changed, but something, sorry for my bad language, I was just gonna say something just screwed it up and made it not fly properly. I actually think that it not flying properly and the problem that arose with this vertical climb is actually something that is good. I feel that that is something that possibly could have fixed the problem of flying faster. But we're gonna give it a shot again. I moved the battery a tad back so it doesn't seem as nose heavy as it was before. Let's try this now. Let's see. Alright, well, that was the most craziest thing that I've done. It torqued, I don't know what it did. Something was wrong, something is wrong. Right now, the firewall is smashed pretty bad. The motor is kind of loose. Let's try to think for a sec what I want to do. All right, let's go.